All right, so for part 2 of this project, the art history tool project, we're going to look at using the text cutout, using text to cut out some of the image. Well, again, we're going to follow this tutorial right here, and I would suggest that as we go through it, that you constantly pause the video and then go to your Photoshop and walk through these steps at the same time. So coming over to Photoshop, it says to open Photoshop and then open the Peaches JPEG file that's included with this assignment. This is it right here, Peaches image JPEG. If I go back to Photoshop, you should find an example of that right here, and I'm going to click on it, and it should open up as the JPEG file. Now, just so we start off on the right side of this image and we're making sure that we're saving it appropriately, I want to go to File and then Save As. And the directions ask that we save this file with our last name and then Peaches Part 2. And then I guess I just did Peaches 1 here, so I'm going to do the same thing. Peaches 2. And what that will do is save it to my folder here, so every change that I make will be saved there. I'm going to change the format from a JPEG to a Photoshop document. If you've already made layers and stuff like that, it will automatically save as a Photoshop document, but since I just opened this, it starts off as a JPEG. I want to make sure that I'm saving it as a Photoshop file, so that way when I'm going through these steps, things are getting saved. I hit save, and now you can see up here it has my last name, Peaches2 PSD, and that means that it's a Photoshop document. So on our tutorial, if you don't see the same layout that I have, we're using the Essentials setup. And if you don't see the same thing, I want you to go to Window, Workspace, and Reset Essentials. And that is up here, Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials. That'll put everything back to where it was. And when this Learn Libraries and Adjustments panel opens up, you can click the 3 or 4 lines there and hit Close Tab Group. That's going to give you a little bit more real estate on the screen. The next thing you're going to do is click on the text tool, and if you click and hold on here, it will open up the different options for the text tool, and we have 4 different options here: the horizontal, the vertical, a vertical mask, or a horizontal mask. And we'll work with those later on in the semester, but right now we just want to use the horizontal type tool, and I'm going to click out here in the area, and you don't see anything. You do see a little bit right there. I'm going to type Peaches in capital letters, and I'm going to do a Command A to select all the letters in there. So it should have Peaches highlighted now. If I was to zoom in, you'll see that I have the word Peaches. Well, that's a little too far. I have Peaches. There it is. I have a font style up here, and I want my font style to be Arial Black. So I'm going to choose that. It should, if I've used it recently, it's in my recents. It might be down here on your list. You just have to look for it. And it makes a nice thick capital letter. I want it to be regular. I don't want to use bold, italics, or underline on there. And I want the font size to be 850 points. So when I press 850 and press enter, you'll see all of a sudden it fills up the whole screen. So if I zoom back out here, too far. Come on, computer. I'm just going to click here. We're going to do 100. Let's try that again. 45%. That's a little bit better. And I can click down below. Well, it looks like I need to adjust the direction here. You can see that that's a little too big still, and so what I'm going to do here is change this. Let's try 450. Not big enough. Let's try 525. And I'm just trying to look for something that looks decent that'll cut out enough. 625. That'll work. I just want to make sure that it has enough to cut out some of the text here, and so it should fit on the screen something like this. And I want the color to be black. Right now the color is green. I want to change it to black. So I pull up the color picker by choosing this one, and I move down to the black area and hit OK. And that's what it should look like. Right now it's highlighted, so it's still white. You can use the Move tool. That's the very top tool up here. If you click on that, you'll see that it has a box and some squares around it. And I can move this around until I like where it is in the graphic. That looks pretty good. And now what we notice is that we have two layers on the screen. There's a Peaches layer right here, and there's a background layer. So the text, you can see it's text because it has the letter T in the in the box right there, excuse me. And it has the background has a picture of the peaches in there. So we have those two layers. I want to hold down the Command key on the keyboard, and I'm going to click on the T right here. And you see as I do that there is a little marquee box around the hand. So I'm going to click on the T, and you'll see that all of a sudden we get marching ants around the letters. The next step I want to do is I want to click on the background, because what that's going to do is allow us to take part of this this background out. So it should look something like this, where you have the marching ants and you have your background selected. You're going to copy the selection on the background layer by going up here to Edit and Copy, or you can do a Command C. And what this is going to do, this actually right now doesn't even know that the black letters exist because I'm clicking on the background. So I'm actually creating a copy of this peaches shape on the actual background image, the peaches that are down below. So if I do an Edit and Copy, it's going to copy that. And then I'm going to do over here, Command V, and it should create a new layer called Layer 1. And you can see that it has something on it. And if I zoom in on it, you'll see that it says peaches there. And what that means is that I took the outline of the word peaches there, and I copied whatever that layer was on top of the background. So what this did, where the word peaches is with the outline, and when I hit copy, it just copied whatever was behind it. So this new layer is directly above the background layer, and it does not look like it exists because there is no difference between where the copy and paste was and where the background is. So it's kind of invisible right now. What we're going to do now is create a new layer, and the new layer is created by clicking on the little plus sign in the bottom right hand corner. When I click on that, you can see that a new layer with a transparent background appears. I want to drag this down so it's below layer 1. Layer 1 being the peaches cutout that I already did. And so it should look something like this. Next thing I want to do is select the Paint Bucket tool. If you have just opened up Photoshop for the first time, you'll actually see the gradient tool. It looks like this. It's shortcut G. But one of the options, if you click and hold on there, is the Paint Bucket tool. And what this lets us do is fill an entire area with a solid color. And in this case, I'm going to default my colors back to black. I'll click on there, and just like magic, the word peaches shows up on the background. So when I do fill it in, it looks something like this. I'm going to turn the eyeball. If you have not turned that eyeball off already, it'll look like this. You can kind of see the outline, and then once you turn this eyeball, the visibility for the text layer off, it looks like this. The last thing for this project we're going to do is create some layer style by adding an outline to this text to make it stand out just a little bit more. And to do that, what we're going to use is the stroke setting inside the layer style. And to get there, we're going to go to the top menu up here. We're going to click on, well, first we have to click on our layer 1 because we want to make sure that this gives us the ability to write on this one, not layer 2, the black layer. So we want to make sure you click on layer 1, go to layer, and then we're going to go down to layer style, which is right here, and we're going to go to stroke, which is the second option. Just so we can see it, you can see that stroke has been selected, and I want to click on color, and I'm going to choose white, and you see immediately that you have a white border around, just really small, it's 2 pixels, a white border around the letters. If I change it to a different color, you'll see that that shows up whatever color I choose. There's green, purple, whatever. So I'm going to choose white because I think that'll look the best, and click OK. As I increase this, you'll see that the letters slowly get outlined, and to do this I'm just sliding my slider here, and that lets me outline this text. Right now it's on the outside, so the letter is the same size. It is just going on the outside and adding that white border to the outside of this text cutout. There's a position setting here. I can set it to be on the inside, which is going to take the letter and then add this white border to the inside, or I can do right in the center, which centers this new border, this stroke, right on the middle of the letter. If I put my mouse and click on that where the number is, I can 2-finger slide up and down, and that will let me slide that up and down. I'm not clicking, I'm just 2 fingers and swiping up and down, and that'll let it look like this. For my example on the tutorial, I used the settings of 20. I put it in the center, and I used the color white. That way I think it looks the best, but whatever you want to do, you can do it. You can have a different background color, you can have a different stroke color, whatever you'd like. So that is the extent of this tutorial. Now your file should look something like this. Your colors may be different, but it should say peaches and have a picture of the peaches down below. If I was to move this, I can move this now, and it doesn't have any effect on the background. It doesn't change what it's looking like back there at all. So I could move this wherever I want. So to finish this project, what you're going to do is go up to the top menu and choose File, Save, to make sure that you have the Photoshop document saved. And then the second step is to go File and Save As. And when you save as, you want to make sure that you change the format to JPEG, which means that you're going to have it as a JPEG file. This is the one that you're going to turn into the assignment on Schoology. So I hit save, and it's going to ask me options there. I click OK, and then just like that, this thing is saved. If you have any questions when you're going through this tutorial, please let me know.